Welcome to Dr. Social Problems. In this video, I would like to answer the question, who Jack the Ripper really was. I'd like to proceed from outline through analysis to conclusion. In case you are in a hurry, please jump over to the conclusion part at the ending scene. If you're ready, let's start. A former police volunteer, Ms. Sarah Hawthorne, reportedly found out who Jack the Ripper really was by accessing official documents which was inaccessible for a long time. For you who may not be too familiar with the Jack the Ripper case, I would like to provide a simple outline. Jack the Ripper committed serial murders of 5 prostitutes around the Whitechapel area in London in 1888. The victims were slashed in their neck, and at least 3 of them had their intestines removed out of their bodies. Although it was the first world-famous serial murder case, the perpetrator was never arrested and has been a mystery. At the time that the Whitechapel area was a well-known area, allegedly having 1,200 prostitutes active due to the poverty. Although highly likely the perpetrator must have been covered with the blood due to that atrocious murders he committed, he was never caught. Because of that, some dubbed him Leather Apron, assuming he may have been wearing an apron to cover the blood. And the case became famous because the perpetrator allegedly wrote letters to a police officer, which was written by the name Jack the Ripper. The message was highly provocative, and the second letter was attached by half kidney of one of the victims. And the letter says he ate the other half fried, and thinking about sending a knife he used for the murder and the future. However, his identity was the mystery, just as the Zodiac killer in the United States was. But now, Ms. Hawthorne reported she found out his true identity. If you are interested in this kind of discussions, please click that channel logo for the future discussion. According to the article, Jack the Ripper's identity revealed by newly discovered medical records on the Telegraph, written by Dahlia Alberge. This former police volunteer, Ms. Hawthorne's great-grandfather, was a police officer investigating the Jack the Ripper case, and she found medical records which perfectly matches the witness description of the man seen with the female victims shortly before the murders in 1888. His name was Chaim Hyams, who lived in the area at the center of the murders. He was a cigar maker, which explains why the perpetrator was as good at cutting up the victim as if he were a medical surgeon. The Chaim was also severely epileptic and alcoholic, in and out of mental asylums, and his condition worsened after he was injured in an accident and unable to work. He repeatedly assaulted his wife, paranoid that she was cheating on him, and he was eventually arrested after attacking her and his mother with a chopper. She found all that by gaining access to medical records, which was inaccessible for a long time due to the medical confidentiality. And she says the Ripper's killing period perfectly coincided with the Chaim's mental and physical decline, and prostitute murders stopped right after he was in permanent committal in 1889. Allegedly, Chaim was particularly violent after his severe epileptic fits, and he was weak at the knees and wasn't fully extending his legs. So he had a peculiar gait, which could be side effect of some brain damage as a result of his epilepsy. He had a broad shoulder, and also his alcoholism exacerbated. Based on these pieces of information, as a social pathologist, one of whose main researches was serial murders, I believe Chaim Haims was the true perpetrator because of the such unshakable perfect matches between his behavioral traits and descriptions of the witness. That said, what more can we say about this Jack the Ripper case? One is that because his crimes were so perfectly covered, Chaim Haims belonged to organized serial killer. Usually organized type perfectly control the situation, having his favorite type of victim, enjoys sadistic acts on victims, have skilled type of job, more often the first son, and also often living with the girlfriend or wife. These condition matches Chaim Haims, and also he belongs to hedonistic type of serial killers who enjoyed sadistic acts on the victim, as I've said, usually have double lives of living with their wives, but periodically going out to commit murders. Hedonistic killers commit murders for the excitements and pleasures he can get from the acts, which is closely connected with his sexual desires. Jack the Ripper allegedly did not have any sexual intercourse with the victims. That means highly likely he was impotent, and those violent acts of slashing victims' throats and also taking out the intestines were the alternatives to his sexual acts. Based on my professional speculation, Chaim Haims may have been raised under highly hysterical mother who carry trait angers. Because of that, Chaim developed severe epilepsy, probably very often under his mother's highly aggressive fits, which stack up stress and frustrations inside of young Haims who could not release it during his childhood. Also highly likely he carried angers towards the female in general that comes from his aggressive mother. One other thing I would like to add is these theatrical types of crimes are often caused by perpetrators who have been non-existent socially, as if he were transparent. These types of perpetrators started out with their sadistic murders to release their frustrations, then gradually move on to theatrical types of serial murders, wanting to be recognized by the public. And that is probably why he wrote letters to police officer, which also applies to the Zodiac Killer. This is it. Thank you all the time for your subscriptions, likes, and sharing. And I am wishing you a peaceful night to everybody, wherever you're watching this video on this same small planet Earth. Okay, until next time, please have a wonderful night. Bye-bye.